In this conceptual aside, let's talk about how the information actually gets directly to the node process that's running on the server. Let's talk about addresses and ports. Big word alert. A port. This is how, once the socket connection is made and a packet is received, how the computer system knows which program running on the computer to send that packet to. So when a program is set up on the operating system to receive packets from a particular port, which is just a number, it is said that the program is listening to that port. That's the metaphor. But what's really happening is we're mapping the number that specifies then what program running on the computer is going to receive the information that's being sent. So visually, we have the web server and the browser sends a request, for an example. And it sends it to a particular IP address, so that's how we know what server it is ultimately. But on that server, maybe there are many different programs running, and Node.js is one of them. So how do we know that Node.js is the program that should receive this information being sent to the server? Well, we assign Node.js a port that is just a number that's unique, and that program will then receive the information that's sent to that port. And we specify that as part of the address. So the IP address, and then a colon, and then the number. The number is the port. This is called the socket address when you put it all together. And usually we don't deal with this directly. Usually we just deal with some sort of domain name, which maps to an IP address and a port. By default, for example, most unsecure internet connections, the port that information is being sent to and from is port 80. But there are lots of ports that by default are usually used for different things, but you can really listen to, assign a program to any port that you want. So when we set up our Node.js programs, Node.js gives us the ability to specify what is my mapping, what is the port that I'm quote-unquote listening to. When information comes to the server, what is the port number that if it's sent to that port number, Node will receive that information. The server that's running, the code that's running on the web server will receive that information. All right, so that's the idea of a port attached to the address. And it's important because it's actually something that we specify often in Node.js.